narrowboat kestrel video, we're back at the waterside. The boating community is renowned for its hospitality as well as its really good community spirit. And today I'm at Soley Marina where I am looking at a really interesting example of this.
Today we will be having a look at the Village Butty Project, which is a working narrowboat pair which aims to bring the jollity of the nation.
Today is Richard from the Village Butty Project, and he's going to tell us a little bit more.
Hey mate.
Hello. He's going to tell us a little bit more about the butty boat. I was wondering if you could start off with the history of the boats in question, please.
Well, this one, which is called Vanadium, was built in 1958 by Harris Brothers of Bumblehole, Neverton, and it's one of six apparently, and one of the very last iron riveted, built for purpose. Obviously, there's been some more built past that. But so one of the last six day boats or a joey boat. It's just basically a bucket, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's a bucket, and it worked for Hardy Spices Engineering Works in Birmingham. Obviously, just ferrying parts around between. Must have been parts of their factory. I guess they were stretched out. And it was easier to move it by water on the BCN. Yeah, and more. When the canal network fell to pieces, it was on the bottom for 20 years, and it was raised in the 90s. Had a wooden bottom, so that was chopped out, and some of the ironwork cut away, and a steel bottom replacing it. And then this frame was put on in the early 2000s. The green frame you can see, green steel frame, which helps it, stops it spreading and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And turned into a floating music venue.
Oh, that's really interesting to hear. I was also wondering what would be the inspiration to convert the boat into a community project.
Well, that wasn't actually my idea. I can't claim to that. It was my friend James's idea, James Bentley, who bought it in about 2010. And it was his idea to do that. And for 10 years, it was floating around in London, making quite a stir as being the village butty, a butty, and the village being the sort of community centre aspect of it, and us boaters being a village and a community in itself. And he thought that was a way of getting everybody involved. But during COVID, unfortunately, the whole thing got sort of shelved. James was getting a bit elderly, and it got very damp and a little bit. There were worms in the floorboards and plants growing, and I phoned up James one day, sat in the blue to see how he was. He said, I'm selling the butty, and I was in the fortunate position to say, well, you're selling it to me, James. And so we've bought it, renovated it, new roof, new solid oak English floor, done the bar up. That's another piece of old ash inside there, buffalo board roof, new canopies. And we're taking it around now.
Yes, I saw some of the videos on the YouTube where they have the gigs actually on the roof.
Yeah. And we're planning to rebuild the roof stage at some point. That's a bit later down the project. At the moment, we're just trying to see if we can make a living out of it at all. And hopefully, there's not many places where a roof gig is perfect. You know what I mean? Because when it lived in London, there's a great massive footfall on the canal.
Yes.
Out here in Soley, it's a little bit less. They don't necessarily need a stage on the roof. But I've got all the bits for the roof station. They will be going back on at some point.
Okay, and aside from that, you also recorded the Renaissance Radio.
Residence FM radio show. We have a radio show called the Relatively Good Radio Show because it's relatively good, Dan. And we record it on the boat every week and every month, once a month, and we tell the listeners in London where we are and what we're doing. Our stated aim is to increase the overall jollity of the nation by bringing this beautiful boat and doing daft things for the people of the canal.
Yes, and I have to say it's very well done on your efforts as well. I was just wondering if you could tell us a little bit more about the motorboat, if that's okay.
Oh yeah, well that's Lion over there, and that is really quite special as far as we're concerned. Also built by Harris Brothers of Bumblehole, Neverton, and it was one of 20 40-foot icebreakers which the government commissioned in 1943, to keep the canal system working when it was actually needed during the Second World War. And then after the war, it was cut down to 16.5 foot. Renamed Cambrai, and we think it actually pushed Vanadium around for Hardy Spices. They both seem to have worked for the Hardy Spices fleet. We haven't quite got all the historical information, but at the moment the story we're telling is we've reunited them after 50 years. I'd be absolutely delighted if we have done, and it seems pretty likely, basically, because it's cut down to 16.5, so it can get through the 70-foot locks on the BCN, and they both were sunk in Birmingham for some time.
Yes.
And the guy who renovated this, his name was Kev. I met him. We were looking for a push tug to push this around because you can't get through the single locks. In London, it used to go side by side like a regular
Yes.
butty, but out here with the single locks, you just can't do that. So we needed a machine. We needed a boat to push it through, and it popped up on a Apollo duck. A guy called Kev, and I went to see him. And it's just an absolutely glorious thing. Built in '43, Bollinger Moncton 1054 engine inside, which Kev had put in it because it was burnt out and sunk on somewhere on the BCN, as I said. And Kev renovated it. It used to have a wooden top, and it was built as a icebreaker called Lion.
Okay.
It was rebuilt as a push tug called Cambrai, and when Kev Bateman renovated it, he renamed it Lion again, and so now it's called Lion, back to its original name. And yeah, go inside, it looks like Frankenstein's monster, and there's a totally a beast of an engine in there as well. We'd like to see it.
Yes, that would be marvellous to
Yeah.
see. If anyone has any pictures of both of these working narrowboats actually working together in their lives, please do forward it
yeah,
on.
absolutely. We'll be really delighted. The more the merrier. We've contacted as many canal enthusiasts as we can, but if there is any word out there, we would be absolutely delighted to hear about it. We really would.
Oh, Shady Grove, mighty love, Shady Grove, I say, Shady Grove, mighty love, I'm bound to go away. Hey! I'll buy myself a big fine horse and corn and feed him on. And Shady Grove, my one true love, will feed him when I'm gone. Oh, Shady Grove, mighty love, Shady Grove, I say. Shady Grove, mighty love, I'm bound to go away. One time.
So joining me today is Anna, who's going to tell us a little bit about how you actually get a mobile community centre off-grid with power.
Yeah, so basically we're really proud to be 100% solar powered. So that relies a lot on, we've got 3 flexi solar panels on the roof and then 2 really serious lithium batteries on the boat, and that powers everything. So so if you have a look here, we've got a 3-door fridge down here, which is, holds all our bar stuff. We've also got a freezer as well, which we like to say it's chilled by the sun. So you can see we've got packs of ice down there for our bar, and that is all solar powered completely. And then we can check it on it's got a Victron energy thing, so you can see at the moment it's not sunny, we've got 90.1% battery power at the moment, and that's running the fridges. We also got lighting throughout, so you can see we've got light there, we've got lights there. We've also got LED lights that go throughout the whole boat. Obviously it's daylight at the moment, so you can't see it all work, but yeah, lighting throughout. We've also got plug sockets all the way through the boat, and actually they go all the way along the gunnels on the starboard side of the boat.
On Sunday.
And we've actually got 14 of these, which have 2 USB charging points and 2 sort of standard plugs. So actually, we could be charging 24, or we could be charging 28 phones at the same time and have everything plugged in. We've basically never got to below 62% battery charge, and that's running a full band performance, lights, and fridges and freezer, and on sort of a rainy, cold day. and then the next day the sun comes out and it goes up to 100% battery power as well. We started when we used. I should mention the name of the people that we used. It was a company called Energy Craft who just do power for narrowboats. And when we talked to them about our plan for our electricity, we had thought we were going to do coffee and teas as well. So we planned to have a serious coffee machine and a kettle and things. Obviously, they're a massive drain. Anything with heat is a massive drain on electrics. So we kind of ended up deciding not to do that. We've got a backup generator. We have a backup generator that we've never had to use. I think if we'd had a coffee machine or tea machine, we might have had to use it. So I think that explains why we've got such high battery power all the time. And we're really proud of it. So we haven't had to use a generator once. So we've been going for over a year. So.
Oh, that's really interesting insight on how an off-grid community centre is powered. Thank you very much, Anna.
You're welcome. Thanks very much for having us.
Cheers. Thank you
Cheers.
very much. So, Anna, as a travelling community centre, I was wondering what other ventures or locations you have planned.
So at the moment we're going around lots of different marinas, entertaining the residents there. So at the moment we're at Sawley Waterside Marina. Last weekend we're at Nottingham Waterside Marina. Next weekend we're at Kings Bromley Waterside Marina. So that's been 3 weekends of marinas. And then we're going back down to Coventry Canal Basin, and there we're going to be there from the 4th to the 14th of May, open up for all sorts of things. We're there we're going to do for the King's coronation a coronation jam where anyone can bring any instrument along. They don't even have to bring an instrument, they can just sing or whistle. We just want to get a bunch of people on our floating community centre, having fun, making music, getting involved. And then we're doing a tour of other marinas. We're also going to be in Crockford in Oxfordshire in August. They have a Fairport Convention Festival in Crockford, but I believe the village also has a sort of a fringe festival at the same time, so it should be kind of August and sort of festival goers, and loads of musicians sort of flood to that area, so we're hoping to get some musicians on the boat then. And then our tour this year is finishing in Banbury at the end of September, beginning of October, for Banbury Canal Festival. It's a historic boat festival, so they get a lot of old boats there. They get canal traders selling all sorts of things. And we're working in a partnership with Tooley's Boatyard there, which is the oldest inland waterway, open, functioning boatyard, which is amazing to be involved with. And what they do is they've got a dry dock there, and it's normally full of boats being worked on, but just for that weekend, the canal weekend, which is the last weekend of September, the first weekend of October, they're going to drain the dry dock, clean the bricks, and it's going to become a music venue for the weekend. We're going to put on some shows in the dry dock, it's got really lovely natural stage and beautiful acoustics, and that's the end of our season this year.
No, that's actually a really interesting insight on where the boat is headed, and if you want to follow where the boat is going, you can follow the Village Butty Project on Instagram. I will leave the link in the description below. Many thanks to Richard and Anna from the Village Butty Project who have allowed me to make this video. I've really enjoyed making this video, seeing the boat and how it works, and thank you ever so much, Richard, for taking me a trip on the motor tug Lion. Also, I will leave a link in the description to the musician who played Clarke, who is a very good folk player. And if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. There'll be more narrowboat content coming soon. 73s.